time with us. Slotkin's new insurrectionists. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Now, it's official. Other than maybe John Fetterman, there are no serious people left in today's Democratic Party. Only those who are so obsessed still with ousting Trump that they'll risk burning down our entire constitutional system to do it.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
Like us. You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
Your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back. Don't give up the ship.
Now, let's be clear. They're playing games with one of the gravest outcomes for our country, a military uprising or coup against a duly elected president. Of course, being the frauds that they are, many of these same Democrats and others have accused Trump of doing exactly what they're tiptoeing toward right now.
Donald Trump does not back the blue. He backs the coup.
The president incited an insurrection.
There was an attempted political coup organized by the President of the United States.
January 6th was the culmination of an attempted coup.
An element of the Republican Party believes their political viability hinges on the endorsement of an attempted coup.
And Senator Slotkin, who thinks a lot of herself, tried to justify turning the military against the White House with a series of empty left-wing talking points.
Trump is following the same playbook as almost every authoritarian in history. And from everything we've seen so far, the Caribbean strikes, the list of domestic terrorists, military and law enforcement deployments across our American streets, he seems to be laying the groundwork to stay in power. Elections, therefore, could be canceled, or if they happen, he could surround polling places with military and federal law enforcement to intimidate voters. Trump could use the IRS to make it impossible for Democrats to fundraise.
First, these are all lies, every last one of them. Second, even if they weren't lies, the proper remedies for Congress to challenge the president's decision-making is either through the courts, and they're certainly doing that, impeachment, and they'll try that again, or the ballot box. Better luck next time. But Alyssa and Mark are writing their own rules and playing a very dangerous game here. There are two things that are true here. Number one, the president has no constitutional authority to use the military as his own personal army to rule the country and to then stay in power. And number two, the Army must obey the legitimate commands of the civilian commander-in-chief elected by the American people. Now, members of the armed forces are not policymakers. They don't make decisions in the moment about whether they like an order or whether they think it's legal. It's just not how it works. And it's a fact that General Mark Milley seemed to have forgotten when he reached out to reassure the Chinese, remember, back in October of 2020, about what would happen after the election. He tried to explain himself to Congress.
With respect to the Chinese calls, my task at that time was to de-escalate. My message again was consistent. Stay calm, steady, and de-escalate. We are not going to attack you.
A lot of white rage there. Well, encouraging the military to think of itself basically as an independent force, not constrained by civilian rule, the president, that's tantamount to encouraging an insurrection. The fact that Democrats can so cavalierly encourage military members to actively defy their commander-in-chief, that just demonstrates that they're either too stupid to know they're encouraging rebellion or they're actively trying to encourage rebellion. And that's blood in the streets. And who then controls the nukes, by the way? This woman? Now, if any member of Congress believes that the military should regard and disregard an order from President Trump, well, either now or they should have in the past disregarded an order from President Trump, then that member of Congress needs to come on television, this show or another, and cite the statute or the constitutional provision that has been violated. If they cannot or will not do that in any convincing manner, then they're playing with fire and putting our entire constitutional system at risk. And it's all being done simply to score a few political points. Now, of course, Slotkin is getting huge blowback and answered her critics on X, saying this is the law passed down from our founding fathers to ensure our military upholds its oath to the Constitution, not a king. Well, this is a hateful woman who's only out for her own political brand. Last spring, her bitterness about a second Trump term was on display for all to see.
We're about to turn 250 years old, right? We're still pretty young for a country. These are our like our angry teenage years, right? We are going through this push and pull where we're happy, we're sad, we want this, we want that. And what do you do when you have a teenager who's threatening themselves and others? You just try to get them through this period alive so that their brain can fully form.
I wonder if she practices being that self-righteous and condescending. Does she practice that every day or in front of a mirror? I hope not. Now, this military uprising idea is just another bad act by bad actors and a bad play. Their lines are stale and they're unconvincing. Again, the real threats to democracy are in their party, nudging us toward this military coup, their opposition to voter ID, universal mail-in ballots, of course, vulnerable to fraud, trying to strip Trump's name off the ballot, by the way, defeated unanimously by the Supreme Court. And naturally, Slotkin got that one wrong as well.
Would you be comfortable with a court, not voters, with a court making that decision?
Colorado obviously knew what they were doing when they put this case together. They're trying to push to have this metered out in federal court, and now it will be. It makes sense. Frankly, in Colorado, we've got similar cases going on here in Michigan and other states to let the courts meter this out.
Meter this out? I don't know what she's talking about. It got goose-egged at the court, sweetheart. Now, these people are shameless. No wonder their members think that they can do anything, any undemocratic act with impunity. And that was what hard-left Congressman Chuy Garcia must have thought when he received a vote of disapproval after his sleazy move to bypass the voters to slip in his chief of staff to replace him. It's another anti-democratic move by the defenders of democracy. So these are unserious, dangerous people. They care about one thing: raw power. They will do anything, say anything to convince you in the midterms and the next presidential election to trust them again. Don't. And that's the angle.